Hello and welcome to AdLamb. I'm Adam, and in today's touring car deep dive, we're going to be looking at the VW Golf GTi. As you can see here, we're not going to go through the stats to start off with. We're going to get straight into our first race. We'll go over that once we get into the Hotlap round Spa. So this is obviously my best qualifying lap. Probably the first time ever. It was my final lap. So I've got 1019 at the moment. So we're looking here for this board coming up, the 100. There we are, just between those two boards. In the GT cars, it's just before the second board. I think it's the 100 board. Here we just want to lift. Turned a little early, so I had to take a second bite at it. Again, it's just sort of just hovering, cruising around that S. Here, I don't know what to tell you for a braking point. I just go when I feel like it. That corner's really hard to find at this specific point. Here's not too bad. It's that little hut there on the left as you go by. Down to fourth, and just before the line here. I think that was a little late. Power on through. We're 6/10 up here. And we're going to finish here with a 101.2, which I was quite happy with. Wasn't very quick though. Obviously, with the stock tune, it's not going to be particularly fast, should I say? Let's see how the start goes. So yeah, 15th. There we are. Fell back. I said without tuning, these cars just you're never going to qualify well. As I've come to realise doing this. Down into turn one here. I'm a bit later than most. Kept it tight. Good thing about this VW is its initial acceleration. Because it has far more torque. I mean, even nerfed, I think it's got more torque than even that MG had. MG obviously just pulls away. So I got bumped out of the way there, which was, nice. A little bit of banging behind. Oh, there goes an MG. I get up this guy's inside. And classic, he turns in on me as always. I've been noticing, I have been getting penalties for people doing that recently. Don't know why, but it started happening. The guy who I passed, as you can see, went very deep there. Go fast forward down the straight. See this guy here. I got a little scared because he started to come towards in my direction in the braking zone. I ended up going a bit deep, so it is what it is. It's touring car racing, so a bit of bumping is to be expected. And this corner, as I said, it's really hard to, especially at night, just trying to get it spot on. This guy obviously is carrying a little too much speed behind, because there he goes off into the gravel. Jumping forward, coming to the end, well, literally around the corner. That guy went very wide there, so that's a free place there. At the end of the straight here, a lap later, and yeah, just trying to hold him off. It was too quick for me, so he got back through, but I have gained another position. I think someone quit in the meantime. I got a bit deep in there. Yeah, I know that's my fault, hence why you see I back off, I let him keep the place, which was a mistake, because you see the guy behind me, Henry Wong. I won't have a good time with him. So now we're just going to fast forward to the end of the straight here. He's in behind, nearly rear ends me there. I was like, okay. That's the first hit. Whacks me wide. Second guy hitting me there. Killer shark. No complaints with that one. Just with my sly, your positioning, that's the way it was going to be. But anyway, so we're here on the start of lap 6. And just watch Henry in front of us. There's still him in front. I believe this is where it happens. There it is. And he goes wide. And we get back in front. And here we are at the end of that very same lap. So going to fast forward through just because it's a very long straight. Yeah, once again, I went deep but didn't go off the track. And this is what I'm saying about Henry Wong. Not only did it look, I mean, there was never a space for him to go in there, but he went for it. That didn't quite work out for me. And here we are going on to the final lap. Just hit minor tyre wear, as you can see at the top. His braking point is very early for that corner, as I found out there. So I'm sure he's just going to try and keep it tighter. Hope that he goes wide on his own. And I can have 12th place. But sadly, right here, I helped him. So, I did continue round. I wasn't sure how far the other people behind us were. But as you'll see, as I come around the final corner, I know I'm not getting within Wong's penalty, so there's no point pushing it any further. I thought, okay, you know what? He only went wide because of me. So yeah, here we go. I lift, brake, lift. And then realised I actually have to hit the brakes quite hard before the finish line to let him by. He did actually message me, ask me why I let him by. And as I explained, you know, I don't think he would have gone off if it hadn't been for the bump in the back. So that's why I let him. So we're moving on to this. And she got the three separate times here. Because of how the VW Golf has been nerfed by just bumping its 370 horsepower down to 333. To try and get a fair lap is really quite difficult. So I tried adding ballast to the full 370. I felt that was too quick. Added a little bit of ballast to the 345, which is when you change the restrictor plate setting to the 0. That was way too slow, as you can see, with the 38.5. Eventually, the best one, because it actually made the car a little bit heavier, was just to bump the horsepower down to 345. So the stats on this particular horsepower set, so it's 345, which is 257 kilowatts, 310 pound-foot of torque. That's 420 newton meters of torque. 1,245 kilograms. Because of doing the restrictor plate, actually added 2 extra kilograms of weight. That is 2,745 pounds. Originally, as it is in the multiplayer settings, it's 370 horsepower. That's 276 kilowatts. Obviously, that's nerfed to 333. My calculations say that's 244. I'm not 100% sure if that's correct in kilowatts, of course. 333 pound-foot of torque, which is 410 newton meters, or 451 newton meters. Let's say that correctly. Again, that's probably been nerfed too, but I'm not sure. And the weight was, it's 1,243 kilograms, which is 2,740 pounds. So it's gained an extra 5 pounds, which equates to 2 kilos. So with this car, it's really good at those medium speed heights, even like here at Pouon. Excellent through here. As you saw in the first half of this lap with my Delta, I was, I think, at worst 6/10 down. So I know there's another 6/10 in this time. This half of from this point onwards, yeah, now I'm in front. I feel like this point onwards, I don't think I could have done this much better. Maybe the Stavolos, maybe a little bit better. Possibly. Obviously, it's the 236.921 that the MG did that we're going comparing. And again, there was a good 5/6 in that, I feel. No, Stavolos were pretty good. And 9.9, yeah, I couldn't have done them much better. And now, on the climb up to Blanchemont, this is actually much easier than the MG to hold full throttle. Felt much more stable. And like I said, this is all stock tune. I haven't done any of the tuning to these vehicles. I feel like that's the fairest way to compare it. Coming into the bus stop chicane, maybe could have got on the throttle a little earlier. But otherwise, that second half of the lap, I felt was good. So we get into the 237s. There we are, 237.967. So it's still over a second slower. The only way I can really know for sure is by actually driving the car around Spa when it's on the multiplayer circuit, which it hasn't been for a little while. So for our final race, we're here at Silverstone. It's the national circuit. So with the old pit lane, through Woodcut there, and up to Copse Corner is turn 1.
One remaining.
So from the braking point, I'm kind of looking between the sign that tells you the direction and then the 2 which is behind it. Here I brake literally on this curb, on the apex of that curb there for maggots, and then get it down to second, and then power on. Now we're looking for the 2 board, and then we sort of turn and brake down to third at the same time, keep it as tight as possible, back on the power, braking here, down to second, and it's just a case of just holding it. You see, there we are, keep the power down, a little bit of sliding, wasn't too bad, and down through Woodcut for the final time, and that is a 101.955. So my mistake here was I didn't check the weather. If I checked the weather, I would have started on softs. But because I didn't check the weather, I'm here on mediums, in 4th place. So good qualifying for me, even though it's, I said, stock settings. That's classic there, turning on you. It's like I do exist. There's not much I can do about my existence. But whatever. So just going to try and keep it tight in the corners, not give them any excuse or reason to try and dart it up the inside. Down into Brooklands, like I said, we're looking for the 2. I missed it a little bit there, as you can tell I went a little deep. Fortunately, the other 2 behind were battling, so they didn't capitalise on my mistake. Luffield, like I said, just waiting. Eventually get on the power, and then say through Woodcut, and across the start-finish line. So that's, say, the first lap. I like to always show you the first lap. I will show, I think, going into, nope, this is where we cut. And now we jump to lap 3. As you see, this is where the first serious drops of rain start to fall, and I come to the realisation I should have started on softs, because then I could pit now and they, you know, at the end of this lap. I am seem to be able to deal with these greasy conditions a little bit better than the car in front. So this is where I decide, if he goes in this lap, I'm staying out. If he stays out, I'm going in. Basically, I'm doing the opposite. Almost thought about it there, but yeah, I just backed out in the end. So it's the moment of the truth. I have a feeling the leader's definitely going in, which he does, and that's what this guy does. He goes in, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay out an extra lap. I think I'm the only person that does. I think literally everyone else behind pits. So we come to me coming out of the pits a lap later. There goes the leader, as you see in the blue car. But that Mercedes that was just in front of me, here he comes up behind. So the overcut worked brilliantly. I felt like this gap wasn't there. He obviously felt like it was. I don't think it was. He nowhere near had enough of this car alongside me to try and claim that. So I felt that I was justified in just driving off. So I caught up to a guy who wasn't pitting for some reason. He decided he wasn't going to pit, which it's just raining more and more. I don't know why. It doesn't work out for him. I think he ends up finishing staying dead last because he does end up having to pit. So we are on to lap 7, and we're looking in the mirrors really. This is the more interesting stuff. That's why I've been jumping a lot of this particular race, because all the interesting stuff towards the end is more in the mirrors, as you can see here. Look at this Audi and the Mercedes fighting. So much so, for the final lap, we're going to watch what happens behind, because nothing happened in front. So the Audi's got up the inside, but the Mercedes was able to carry more speed through cops there. So now we're on the way up to Maggots. Audi's looking everywhere. Oh, loses it a little bit. This is where I was a bit slow, because they got a lot closer to me than they should have. Look, there's a bit more contact there. Another car off in the distance. And now we're on the run down towards Brooklands. The Mercedes is trying to keep the inside. Yeah, I think he's quite comfortable there. Oh, Audi still makes a move for it though. A bit more side-by-side action through Brooklands, but this is going to hold the inside for Luffield for the Mercedes. And as I see, we're coming towards the end of the lap now. Let's start zooming out and actually see the racetrack. And that's it. The Mercedes holds on to 3rd place. I was very comfortably second once after I had that contact with the Mercedes when I come out of the pit lane. After that, I was never in any real danger. So my first podium. I have one, as I said before. I was recording anything, but in recordings, this is my first podium. Quite happy with that. So yeah, just another look at talk of the car. Like I said, it's actually really good. I feel in the medium speed corners and the high speed stuff, it's really stable. Its initial acceleration is the best out of any other cars, I feel. Obviously, with the stock tune, once I've tuned it a bit, it may be even better. Who knows? But yeah, would I use this on a regular basis? Probably not, just purely because it is down on power because of the nerf. If they had just done what I did and changed the restrictor plate setting, I feel like that would have been more comparable to everything else in the touring car category, other than the Audi, of course. But it's a good car. I personally won't be using it on a regular basis, but I will be tuning it because I do want to see how fast it goes around Spa once it's been tuned. But we won't be looking at those until I've gone through all of the cars. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this one. So if you've enjoyed the video, do hit the like button. If you really enjoyed it, do consider subscribing. Otherwise, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.